Hey guys, the world is changing. Yeah, definitely the world is changing. If you witnessed what happened yesterday with the electricity cut in Spain, Portugal, and some countries in France, you understand that yes, the world is changing. The world is changing, and it's not no jokes. The world is changing. It's not no jokes. Have you noticed something about Europe? Since the World War II, 1945, after the Marshall Plan and the creation of the NATO from the United States, that was a kind of assistance to the European country against the Nazi invasion. If you notice that there is no leadership in Europe, if the United States doesn't do something, Europe doesn't move. And we can see it now with the situation of Ukraine and Russia, because the United States is the country who helped the most Ukraine to fight Russia. And we all understand, or maybe if you are checking, the news about politics and why I'm saying that the world is changing, if you understand politics right now, you know that Russia has the right to defend itself against the United States, against NATO, because the place where the Crimea is the door to the Black Sea, right? And the Black Sea is the door for Russia to get to Europe, right? To sell all his products, or to sail through Europe, or to whatever commercial, business, or economic activities. The Black Sea is the road for Russia to get to Europe, right? So United States with NATO and the European countries, they want to occupy Ukraine, right? So if they occupy Ukraine, they close that door for Russia, because Russia is a threat right now for the United States. And so what Russia doesn't understand, what some other countries that are against the policy of the United States, is that we are in a world full of human beings, right? Black and white, yellow and red, and we are all equal. And so there should be no someone who is the king or the emperor or someone who is going to lead everyone. And that's what the United States has been doing. And we know why they do it, because militarily they are the first power in the world. Now economically, China is competing with them, and I think China is the first economy in the world, and it's becoming hard for the United States. So Russia is fighting that. Russia doesn't want that new world order, like the fact that someone has to lead the whole humanity. It's impossible. We are all human beings, from Africa to Asia to Arabia to Europe to the United States to America Latina. We are one humanity, and there can be no superhuman leading the rest. If that exists, it will always create wars and tensions. We need to live in peace and harmony. That's what we have to do. So I'm going back a little bit from the cut out of electricity and internet that happened yesterday in Spain. And what I noticed, me personally, what I noticed is like Spanish people, as long as they are comfortable in having the money that the government is giving them, through their work or through whatever. If they can pay their vacation, if they can pay whatever they want when they need it, they are comfortable. So anything related to how the government is working is not their business. And I think the control of the government on the people is working so well that the people are scared, and the people don't want to know what is going on in the world. But what is going on in the world right now is like, in some places, life is unjust there. If you go in Palestine, life is unjust there. If you go in Ukraine, people are dying there, life is unjust there. European countries are using Ukrainian people. For the European countries and the United States, they are using Ukrainian people to set their agenda there. We know that. And it's not just, people are dying there. And my personal opinion, based on facts, is like Russia is right, because Russia has its territory. Ukraine is part of Russia. Ukraine is part of Russia, and Russia doesn't want that the Americans and the Europeans, they come and block that door. They don't want it. So coming back to that cut, it's like, if the Europeans are helping Ukraine to fight Russia, or the Americans, and they don't make it official, they send tanks, they sell arms, they sell everything to Ukraine, but they don't make it official, right? People are talking about cyber attack, because the way you have internet is like, you have to have a hold on the satellites. And we all know that Russia and the United States are the countries, and maybe Iran, those countries who have the nuclear weapons, they go to space and they have satellites there. The business of space are owned by those countries. So if there is a cyber attack in this scale, because it's a large scale, if you talk about Spain, Portugal, Andorra, and some countries in France, it's like, it's a big scale. It's a big scale, and it's very, very dangerous. Like, if a whole country doesn't have internet or electricity, it's very dangerous. So if Russia cannot fight Spain or Portugal, because Russia is telling them that you should see how you do your policy. Because if you keep on helping Ukraine, if you keep on letting Israel destroying Gaza and Palestine, and you say nothing, and your people are scared to talk about it, because your people are just comfortable because they get money. They think everything is fixed by money. But this world is a being. This, like, human beings, like, in the whole world, is a being. Like, and this being likes love. This being likes harmony. The universe likes peace. And if one part of this being is not having peace, that being is gonna take itself in care and makes harmony and love into place. And I think that is what is happening now in 2025. If you are familiar with astrology numbers and whatever, 2025, if you sum up the year 2025 is 9, and 9 is the completion, is the completion of something. People are getting awake. The same way religion was replaced by democracy, like people going to vote and elect a president. Now these presidents and these governments, they are using their power, and that is going against people. And so what is happening now is like, there is a new awakening of people understanding everything that is going on in the world. Yesterday, the cut of electricity, the Spanish people only talk with them in the streets when there is a common problem. When everybody has his internet, his telephone, nobody talks to nobody. People are just crossing each other in the buildings, the same buildings where they live. They don't greet each other. There is no love. There is nothing. But when there is a common problem where the security is touched, then you see them talk, you see them exchange information about what is going on. And I don't think that is real. That's not real. That is fake. And the other thing is, like, for example, the stop lights in the roads. The stop lights is like making us function. If we don't have, we can function. But yesterday, you can see that without the stoplights, people were understanding, people were employing love and patience. A car will stop and let people pass because there is no stop light, so people can organize themselves. But they only do it when there is an issue. When there is a common problem, they do it. So people can organize themselves, people can love themselves, people can be patient between each other. And that was a cool thing, but at the same time, that's a sad thing, because when people have everything they want, they don't give a F. And so now, talking about Africa, this awakening I'm talking about is like, Africa also is awakening. Like these young leaders like myself and so many other leaders in Africa, Ibrahim Traore, Julius Malema, Usman Sonko, Jomai Faye, Assimi Goita, you know, a lot of Kemi Seba. You know, Kemi Seba is, for me, Kemi Seba is the pioneer of all this. He's the first warrior to start talking about this, because he awakened. He knew what was happening. It's like African people don't know their history. African people think they are inferior. That's why we've never take advantage of our resources. That's why Africa was never abundant, knowing that we have everything in the soil of Africa. We have diamond, we have coltan, we have gold, we have everything that someone needs to develop a country. We have it, and we give it to the whole world. But African people are awakening, and the things that is bothering me is like Michael Langley, the American general, a black man, was talking about Ibrahim Traore and saying the government of Ibrahim Traore are using the gold revenues for themselves, but not for the people. And once again, this is another way to let people astray and to tell them something that is not true. Because we all know what Ibrahim Traore is trying to do. He's just trying to do what Thomas Sankara started it, which is, the world is full of equal human beings. Everyone has the right to protect himself, defend himself, work for himself. It's not being against people. It's not being against other people. The United States is doing the same thing. They protect their interests. They defend their interests. But if Africa wants to do it, it's a problem. So that's what I'm saying. And this black general, he's black. And I'm sorry for black Americans. I'm really sorry for black Americans. But with the history of slavery and the civil rights movement in the United States, now having black people trying to fight other black people, for me, is very sad. It's very sad. And black Americans should talk about this, because they are the first one who were exploited, tortured, killed, you know, and they should look for their own, not trying to help those people who at first were killing them and exploiting them and doing everything to them, so that they don't develop. You know, every race in this world Every race in this world has the right. And when I say race, because look, there's only one race, the human race, but what we see is like we are different from the appearance, but we are equal from the aspect of being a human being. You know, the Chinese are united, the Europeans are united, the Americans are united, the Arab people are united. Africa is the only continent that is not. And when we try to unite, that's a problem. And I really support Ibrahim Traore, and I support the African movement, the African awakening, and we will definitely get to that point, because now is the time. Now is the time, like for real. Big up.